see, how much do you see maybe the benefits of that as you start to gear up for maybe the more normal parts of preseason, if you want to say?
It was huge for us, honestly. Not just for the chemistry reasons, but obviously getting on the court together for the first time. I mean, us as a group, we've never played together, especially with all the talent and transfers and everyone that's came in. So it was good for us to get on the court together, and then off the court, just bonding. I mean, we were here together all summer, so we already had that brotherhood off the court, but just making it stronger for us.
Got it over here. George, go ahead.
Trayce, talk a little bit about saw you play in the Bahamas. Most of your shots and most of your baskets were in close. Talk a bit about how Mike wants you to shoot some more perimeter shots. Talk a little bit about how much you practice this during the summer, and how much this team needs your shooting out there.
Obviously, I just took what the defense gave me in the Bahamas, really. But at the same time, he wants me to shoot the ball whenever I'm open. I'm in the gym every night working on my jump shot, so especially with this guy right here. So he can tell you, he can see what I'm doing. But I'm just going to take what the defense gives me. If I know I can score at will inside, then there's no reason to go away from that. But if they're going to give me the jumper, I'm going to let it fly.
Right, so then you give us an honest assessment of his jump.
He's honestly one of the best shooters on the team. You know, we've been working at it, like just the simple parts of it. You know, just following through. You know, just getting the reps in. That's what it's really about. That's what it's been about for us. And you know, just over time, the jump shot has gotten a lot better, and he's gotten a lot comfortable shooting it. So you should expect to see him getting a lot of jumpers up this year.
Tamar, you're obviously one of the new guys here, but tell us a little bit about just how the interaction has been with your 12 teammates and trying to get comfortable with them both on and off the court, and how all that's going so far.
Well, we've tried to just have a family atmosphere around the entire program, and Coach Woodson has led that, and he's done a great job. You know, we kind of he did a good job of getting a good group of guys together, so it hasn't been an issue for us to just bond off the court. You know, we're all really close. We all spend time together, every day. So just coming together as a group hasn't been a problem for us at all. This is a team where we all like each other. So and it show on the court.
Mike.
Hey, Tamar, how is Mike Woodson as a coach? What have you learned about him so far in these 2 months? And what is it about maybe his offense that might be a good fit for what you kind of bring to the table?
So on the back end with the offense, I mean, he really just wants us to have great spacing, to where everybody can operate and play to their strengths. And knowing everybody's strengths, he puts us all in the right positions to be successful. But as a coach, he's just a great person. Just the building relationships part is probably the most important thing to him. And making sure that he's growing us as men every day, and then on the floor, we just want to try outthink our opponents and test ourselves mentally, because obviously we all have the physical attributes, but we want to be able to think the game and stay locked in for long periods of time. So we just been following his lead, and everything that he preaches, and everything that works for him in the NBA. We don't see why it can't work here.
Dustin.
Trayce, you had a lot of questions about the jump shot. How about the right hand? That's the other thing that you've been sort of trying to focus on. And how's that coming along, and what are you doing to make that better? What's kind of how you focus on that?
Obviously, just repetition for real. When I'm in the gym, just working on my jump shot. I'm also working on right hand, and then just working on those counters on my left hand. Just basic stuff.
Trayce, I'm going to ask you a similar question that was asked to Tamar about, just adjusting to Coach Woodson, because obviously he's a new coach from last year. And then just him, he talked earlier about pointing to the banners, the standard that he wants you guys to set. How much does that kind of hammer home in terms of how you work out every day, and what the expectations are?
Most definitely. Coach Woodson, him coming in from the very beginning, there was no bad anything. He was perfect. The transition was so smooth. He came in and he really just brought almost like a positive vibe right from the get-go. He convinced me to stay like 10 minutes. So that was that. And then we got talent coming in the transfers. Yeah, couldn't find a word, but we got the transfers, and then with the culture, before practice every day, we huddle up and we look at the banners. We that's our goal. We're gonna start with the Big Ten championship, and that's our goal from day one. And every practice, we're gonna build on, and that's what we're gonna do, so.
Mike?
Yeah, Trayce, how much more enlightened do you, or empowered do you feel as a student athlete now versus maybe even just 2 years ago with name, image, and likeness and everything else that's changing for student athletes? How much different is it, and how much more empowered do you feel?
It is different. It's hard to keep track of all of it. But at the same time, I think it's really cool. I think it's long overdue for especially other athletes that didn't get the opportunity before me. But at the same time, I think me and my teammates are going to take advantage of it, and especially at this Preseason university, and just the knowledge, especially with basketball and how far it goes back. I think it's going to be good for all me and my teammates and for Hoosiers in the future. So.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Trayce, you talked in the spring, kind of right after Mike got hired, about how there was a positive mood around the team. You talked out in the Bahamas about how much fun you guys were having. Just how much fun is this team having, and what is the mood around the team right now?
Honestly, I think this team is probably, by far, right now, it's probably my favorite team that I've been on. I'm not saying there's any bad blood with any of the other guys, but it's different. I think, like, in the last few years that I was here, like, we had little groups that everyone would hang out with, but now it's just our whole team. We go to places, we eat places together, we do things as a team, like it's a full-oriented team, and I think that's really good for us. So.
Luke?
For both of you guys, do you feel like you're here at the right time, that there's change in the wind in a good way, that you feel excitement around town, on campus, about what you guys can accomplish, and is it translating to practices on the court?
I'm like, just like with my story, just how I was originally committed to Texas, and how I just ended up here. Like, I feel like it was just all in my plan to end up at Indiana. So I definitely feel like I'm here at the right time. Being like the first wave of players, like the first team that Coach Woodson has under him at Indiana. So in practice, we compete, we get after it. But like Trayce said, Coach Woodson just brings a positive vibe every day, and with that, and the respect that we have for him, it just makes us want to play harder for him. So, when we go out there, it's like we're playing to win.
I agree with what he says, especially with the practice aspect. You got 12 guys on the team that are really almost interchangeable, any of them to start. So when you're doing that, playing 5-on-5 every day against that person, that really helps you get better. And with Coach Woodson and the vibe around campus, I really think that people are actually excited, like really excited, and I can't say that it's been like that in years past. So.
Trayce, when you look up and down this roster, obviously you have people like freshmen like Tamar and the transfers you brought in. What excites you most about the potential that this roster has?
I think just every person has something that they can bring to our team. Tamar brings energy, and he brings almost a goofiness to him. Miller can shoot the ball really well. Parker can shoot the ball really well. X is great with the ball, can pass the ball really well. Rob, you've seen what Rob can do on the floor. Same with Grace, and the guys that we've had here. Mike is also someone that can stretch the floor, and he's a big body that can bang inside. We got components and we got pieces everywhere. So I really just think that everyone is going to have a vital impact on our team. And it might not be the first game, it might not be, it's going to be any time. And that's one thing that Coach Woodson always says. He says, when your name is called, you better be ready because you're going to play. You're going to get in there. So you got to be ready to play. So that's the big thing for us.
Okay, last question, Grace.
Trayce, you talked about how Coach Woodson got you to stay within a 10-minute conversation. Was that the deciding factor? And take me through how that conversation changed your mindset.
Yeah, so when he first got in, I really didn't, I knew the history of Indiana basketball, but I didn't really know it. It wasn't a huge culture thing with me in my first 2 years as it is now, and like seeing the people that he brings around and stuff of that nature. But when we first had our conversation, it was just me and him at first, and then he brought my dad down, and I was already kind of convinced to stay, but my dad was someone I leaned on for really big decisions, so he talked to him, and then it was within the first 5 minutes, he already knew what we wanted to do, so it was quick. He told me that he was going to help expand my game, and obviously when you're talking to someone that's been in the NBA for longer than you've been alive, I don't really know how you can say no to that, so it was a fairly simple decision, but I'm glad I made it because I feel like it's going to benefit me the most.
All right, guys, thank